जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्यभामा कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्यभामा जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकचर्यष्टोत्तर सतश्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस AC भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकचर्यष्टोत्तर सतश्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्भागवतम की जय। श्री श्री कृष्ण रुक्मिणी सत्यभामा की जय। श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Narada's instructions on Srimad-Bhagavatam, verse number 22. Idam hi pumsaha tapasaha shrutasya va. Idam hi pumsas tapasah shrutasya va. Idam hi pumsas tapasah shrutasya va. Svishtasya Suktasya Cha Buddhi Dattayoho. Svishtasya Suktasya Cha Buddhi Dattayoho. Svishtasya Suktasya Cha Buddhi Dattayoho. Avichyutaha Arthaha Kavibhihi Nirupitaha. Avichyuto arthak kavibhir nirupito. Avichyuto arthak kavibhir nirupito. Yad uttama shloka guna anuvarnanam. Yad uttama shloka guna anuvarnanam. Yaduttama shloka gunanuvarnanam. Idam hi pumsas tapasah shrutasya va. Svishtasya suktasya cha buddhi dattayoho. Avichyuto arthak kavibhir nirupito. Yaduttama shloka gunanuvarnanam. Idam hi pumsas tapasah shrutasya va. Svishtasya suktasya cha buddhi dattayoho. Avichyuto arthak kavibhir nirupito. Yaduttama shloka gunanuvarnanam. Any of the mothers, Matajis? Idam, this, he, certainly, pumsaha, of everyone, tapasaha, by dint of austerities, shrutasya, by dint of study of the Vedas, va, or swishtasya, sacrifice, suktasya, spiritual education, cha, and buddhi, culture of knowledge, dattayoho, charity, avichyutaha, infallible, arthaha, interest, kavibhi, by the recognized learned person, nirupitaha, concluded, yat, what, uttama shloka, the Lord who is described by choice poetry, guna anuvarnanam, description of the transcendental qualities of. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Learned circles have positively concluded that the infallible purpose of the advancement of knowledge, namely austerities, study of the Vedas, sacrifice, chanting of hymns and charity, culminates in the transcendental descriptions of the Lord who is defined in choice poetry. Kindly repeat. Learned circles have positively concluded that the infallible purpose of the advancement of knowledge, namely austerities, study of the Vedas, sacrifice, chanting of hymns, and charity, culminates in the transcendental descriptions of the Lord who is defined in choice poetry. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Human intellect is developed for advancement of learning in art, science, philosophy, physics, chemistry, psychology, economics, politics, etc. By culture of such knowledge, the human society can attain perfection of life. This perfection of life culminates in the realization of the Supreme Being, Vishnu. The Shruti, therefore, directs that those who are actually advanced in learning should aspire for the service of Lord Vishnu. Unfortunately, persons who are enamored by the external beauty of Vishnu Maya do not understand that culmination of perfection or self-realization depends on Vishnu. Vishnu Maya means sense enjoyment, which is transient and miserable. Those who are entrapped by Vishnu Maya utilize advancement of knowledge for sense enjoyment. Sri Narada Muni has explained that all paraphernalia of the cosmic universe is but an emanation from the Lord out of his different energies, because the Lord has set in motion by his inconceivable energy the actions and reactions of the created manifestation. They have come to be out of his energy. They rest on his energy, and after annihilation, they merge into him. Nothing is therefore different from him, but at the same time, the Lord is always different from them. When advancement of knowledge is applied in the service of the Lord, the whole process becomes absolute. The personality of Godhead and his transcendental name, fame, glory, etc. are all non-different from him. Therefore, all the sages and devotees of the Lord have recommended that the subject matter of art, science, philosophy, physics, chemistry, psychology, and all other branches of knowledge should be wholly and solely applied in the service of the Lord. Art, literature, poetry, painting, etc. may be used in glorifying the Lord. The fiction writers, poets, and celebrated literators are generally engaged in writing of sensuous subjects. But if they turn towards the service of the Lord, they can describe the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. Valmiki was a great poet, and similarly, Vyasadeva is a great writer, and both of them have absolutely engaged themselves in delineating the transcendental activities of the Lord, and by doing so, they have become immortal. Similarly, science and philosophy also should be applied in the service of the Lord. There is no use presenting dry speculative theories for sense gratification. Philosophy and science should be engaged to establish the glory of the Lord. Advanced people are eager to understand the absolute truth through the medium of science, and therefore a great scientist should endeavor to prove the existence of the Lord on a scientific basis. Similarly, philosophical speculations should be utilized to establish the supreme truth as sentient and all-powerful. Similarly, all other branches of knowledge should always be engaged in the service of the Lord. In the Bhagavad-gita also, the same is affirmed. All knowledge, quote unquote knowledge, not engaged in the service of the Lord is but nescience. Real utilization of advanced knowledge is to establish the glories of the Lord, and that is the real import. Scientific knowledge engaged in the service of the Lord and all similar activities are all factually Harikirtana or glorification of the Lord. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjanachalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mokam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Mande Shri Gurum Dina Taranam. Shri Krishna Rukmini Satyabhama Ki Jai. A few days back, an alumnus of Indian Institute of Technology, IIT Mumbai, he gave a statement which created a lot of buzz. He said that this year, the placements in IIT Mumbai have been going on. Generally, the placements in IIT, they go on around, I think, December to February. December, February is when large number of companies come, but the process goes on till about May. This year, he said the IIT Mumbai had a lot of difficulty in getting companies to come and do the campus interview because IIT Mumbai was saying minimum you should have this kind of package. And the companies were saying, no, you have to reduce, and so negotiations were going on. It took a little bit of time. Finally, the companies came. But after all the campus interviews, he said 36% of the students in IIT Mumbai, they were not able to be placed. 36% of the students, IIT Mumbai struggling to have them placed. And this immediately went viral everywhere. Oh, you people have studied in IIT Mumbai. IITs are considered the premier institutes in India. And IIT Mumbai is considered amongst the IITs also even more premier. Having studied in IIT Mumbai, people are not getting placed. And everybody started sharing the news and commenting on it and all that. And of course, it became such a viral news that eventually IIT Mumbai issued a clarification. They said, no, 57% of the students we managed to place, about 12% wanted to pursue higher studies, and like that they gave some figures. So actually it's not 36%, it's something else. On similar lines, another news became viral. A woman, from her house, they are looking for an alliance for the woman. She was working, then she gave up her job. Now the parents are looking for an alliance. What happened? The parents, they brought the resume of a boy for her alliance, and the girl says that she looked at the salary package of this man, of this prospective groom. It was only how much? 8 lakhs per annum or something like that. And she said, no, minimum it has to be 25 lakhs per annum, otherwise I will not marry. And so this became viral again. And some people are saying, no, why is she doing like this? She should look at the boy. And others saying, no, she is in her full right. After all, she has to live with that guy whole life, and she has to have a certain standard of life and all those kind of things. This was another news which became viral. And another news which became even more viral was about the electoral bonds. The Supreme Court said that whatever people had bought the electoral bonds, to which party, how much they donated, has to be made public. The government was trying not to divulge and all those things, but finally the Supreme Court ruled, so they had to divulge. The moment they divulged, it became viral news. Out of almost 700 crores of corporate donations, 90% of that, about 610 crores has gone to one party, the ruling party. The rest of it has gone pittance to other parties. And then people started floating figures. The ruling party has got almost about 2,000 crores as donations, out of which 1,200 crores is unnamed donation. We don't know from where that money has come. And the next biggest party, one of the opposition parties, is somewhere around half, not even half, around 600 crores. You can imagine, ruling party is 2,000 crores they have raised in donations. The opposition party is able to generate only about 650 crores. When you look at all these news, what is the common thing in all these news? Common thing is money. Money, money, money is sweeter than honey. People are going to college, IIT Mumbai. For what? Ultimately, you have to get placed and get a package, minimum 1 crore per annum. Only then your education is successful. A woman is thinking, I have to get married. I should get a husband who is earning at least 25 lakhs per annum. Then only my marriage is successful. Political parties are thinking, our coming to power is successful only when we get the bulk of the money from the people, whether in the form of electoral bonds or through unnamed donations, whatever it is. The standard of success in modern day world has become money. How much money we are able to earn. Whether it is education, whether it is religion, whether it is marriage, whether it is political power, ultimately how much money have we managed to get? How much money have we managed to gather? This has become the standard. Now, the Bhagavatam in today's verse, Narada Muni is giving a completely revolutionary idea. He is giving a totally different standard for measuring the success of one's activities. He is saying, Pumsaha, for all the people, Tapasaha, whatever austerity they take. Everybody, if they have to become successful in life, they have to take a lot of austerity. If a businessman wants to become successful, he has to work hard day and night and try to earn money. Only then it will become successful, the business. If the businessman opens one startup and then goes home and sleeps, the company will not succeed. He has to work hard day and night. Politician, if his party has to come to power, if he has to earn the votes, He has to work hard day and night, and all 5 years he is in power, he has to work hard. At the end of 5 years, if the people are not satisfied with his work, they will vote him out of power. They will select somebody else. He has to work hard. Everybody in this world, the students, they have to work hard so that they get good marks, they get good placement. Whatever result you want to achieve in this world, without austerity, without tapasya, it is not possible. You have to undertake a lot of tapasya. Then only you can meet with success. Narada Muni is saying all tapasya that one undertakes, tapasaha, shrutasya, whatever education you may undertake, amongst all education, study of the Vedas is considered the topmost education. We have education in the material field, so many branches of knowledge are there. There is engineering, there is physics, there is chemistry, there is biology, there is law, there is economics. Like this, so many branches of knowledge are there in the material world. They are all dealing with material energy. The Vedic knowledge deals with knowledge of the spirit. You are not the body, you are spirit, soul. This understanding is given in the Vedic texts, in the Vedic literature. So therefore, study of the Vedas is a higher knowledge than material knowledge. So when we say Shrutasya, that means out of all the Vedic knowledge also that we may acquire. And Suktasya, by spiritual education, and Swishtasya, of all the kinds of sacrifices that we may do. We may engage in different kinds of religious activities. We do various sacrifices to acquire punya karma, pious activities we want to acquire, pious reactions we want to acquire. So out of all this, and buddhi, by the culture of the knowledge, all these things actually are meant for culturing of knowledge. Dattayoho, even charity. Whatever charity we may give, whatever austerities we may take, whatever the Vedic scriptural study we may undertake, whatever religious activities we may undertake, eventually they are all meant for buddhi, for the culture of knowledge. This is a different concept altogether. In this material world today, our understanding is all tapasya, all shruta, all austerity, all knowledge, all sacrifice, everything should be done for what? To earn money. Whereas Narada Muni is saying all of these are actually meant ultimately for what? For culturing knowledge. What kind of knowledge? Spiritual knowledge. To be able to develop the knowledge, to be able to realize that I am not the body, I am spirit, soul, and that I am eternal. The body is nashvara, the body is destructible, but I am not destructible, I am indestructible. To realize this knowledge, one may undertake all these activities. And then Narada Muni doesn't stop there, he goes further. He says, avichyuto arthaha, the infallible purpose, the culmination of all these activities in culturing knowledge is to come to the point of uttama shloka gunanuvarnanam, to come to the point of glorification of Krishna. This is the ultimate purpose of all activities that one may undertake in this world. Whether it is politics, whether it is education, whether it is religious activities, marriage, you take anything. Culmination, the ultimate purpose of all those activities is glorification of Krishna. Completely revolutionary concept Narada Muni is giving. This is unheard of, especially in Kali Yuga. Nobody understands this. Nobody has even heard of such a thing. That all my activities, I am going to college, I am getting educated, I am going to school, I am getting a job, I am earning money, I am becoming a politician, I am becoming a scientist, I am becoming a doctor. What is the purpose of all these things? It is glorification of Krishna. In fact, in the Bhagavad-gita also Krishna says the same thing. In the 9th chapter, in the 27th verse, Krishna tells Arjuna, Yat karoshi yadashnasi, yat juhoshi dadasi yat, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tad kurushva madarpanam. Krishna tells Arjuna, Yat karoshi, whatever activity you do, everybody has to be engaged in some activity. So, ultimately, if we have to maintain the body and soul together, we have to be active. We cannot be inactive. Everybody has to have a source of livelihood in which everyone is engaged in. Whatever that activity may be, yad karoshi, yad ashnasi, whatever you eat, yad juhoshi, yad dadasi, whatever the charity activity you engage in, whatever religious activities you engage in, tat kurushva madarpanam. Yet tapasyasi, whatever austerities we may engage in, Krishna says, tat kurushva madarpanam. We have to offer that to Krishna. Everybody has to eat every day. So instead of eating on our own, Krishna is saying, offer to Krishna and honor that as Krishna prasadam. You have to engage in some activity or the other for your livelihood, but don't simply engage in that livelihood to increase your sense gratification. Engage in your livelihood, take care of your family, your body and all those things, and whatever surplus you have in terms of money, in terms of time, in terms of resources, engage it in glorifying Krishna. So, Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad-gita that ultimately everything has to be offered to Krishna. Now the question will come up, why should I offer to Krishna? Why is Krishna demanding like this? Why is Narada Muni telling that ultimate goal of all our activities is to glorify Krishna? What is the need? I can, instead of, if I give to Krishna, then I cannot enjoy. Instead, if I work hard, earn the money, and spend it on myself, I buy some good clothes, I buy some good food to eat, I go to watch some movie, I can enjoy life. If I work hard, earn the money, and give to Krishna, then what am I left with? Krishna explains this in the next verse, in the 28th verse of the Bhagavad-gita. Krishna says, Shubha phalair yevam karma bandhanaihi sannyasa yoga yuktatma vimukto maam upaishyasi. Krishna says, Shubha phalair yevam mokshyase karma bandhanaihi. If you offer everything to Krishna, if you make the glorification of Krishna the ultimate goal of all your activities, then what will happen? Shubha phalair evam mokshyase karma bandhanaihi. All your activities will no more be binding. When we engage in activities, when we engage in different kinds of work, whether it is tapasya, whether it is taking any austerities, whether it is learning something, undergoing some education, whether it is earning money, earning our livelihood, doing some sacrifice, doing some charity, all these activities we do. What are we doing? We are binding ourselves to the results of such activities. Karma bandhana. And what is this karma bandhana? This karma bandhana is Shubha and Ashubha. It may result in Shubha, it may result in pious activities. Suppose I give in charity to somebody. I help a poor person, I feed a poor person, or I help a person who is suffering from some disease and give him free hospitalization. I do such kinds of pious activities. What happens? It is giving Shubha karma. It is giving me pious credits for which I will have to take another birth to enjoy. So ultimately, even by doing punya, even by doing pious activities, I am binding myself to the cycle of repeated birth and death within this material world. And on the other hand, if I do engage in sense gratificatory activities without helping others or whatever, what happens? That will result in Ashubha. Ashubha karma, which means sinful reaction. And then I will have to take another birth to suffer the reactions of such sinful activities. Whether I do Shubha or Ashubha, whether I do pious activity or I do sinful activity, ultimately it is karma bandhana. It is binding me to take repeated birth and death within this material world. Now Krishna is saying, if you do the same activities, same education you are undergoing, same livelihood you are engaged in, same charity you are giving, act of charity you are doing, all these things, instead of doing it for my personal satisfaction, if I give to Krishna, then what happens? Activity has not changed. The end beneficiary has changed. End beneficiary is not me or some other person, suffering person in this material world. End beneficiary is Krishna. Then what happens? Krishna is saying That kind of activity, Subha Subha Phalairevam, Mokshase Karma Bandhanaihi. You will become liberated from both pious and sinful reactions. You will not have to undergo either happiness for enjoying the results of your pious activities, nor you will have to suffer the results of your impious activities. Both things are vanquished. Activity is the same, only end beneficiary has changed. And it doesn't stop there. Not only are you liberated from karma bandhana, Krishna says that sannyasa yoga yuktatma vimukto mam upaishyasi. Vimuktaha, we will attain vimukti. We will get liberated from this material world, and mam upaishyasi, we will go to Krishna's world. We will go to Goloka Vrindavan, where there is no more repeated birth, death, disease and old age, and we can live a completely blissful eternal life, free from all the kinds of miseries within this material world. Krishna is saying this is the result if simply you change the beneficiary of your activities. And this Krishna is saying, this kind of, when we dedicate the results of our actions for Krishna, instead of giving it to somebody else or for my own enjoyment, then Krishna is saying this is sannyasa yoga yuktatma. This is real sannyasa. Sannyasa doesn't mean necessarily that I have to wear saffron clothes and I have to give up my family, I have to go to the Himalayas, and I should not touch money, I should wear a wooden slipper, I should always walk, I should not travel by vehicles, I should not accept money. It doesn't mean any of these things. Krishna is saying the result of your activities, to whom are you dedicating? If you are dedicating it to Krishna, then you are a sannyasi. And by doing that, what happens? We are guaranteeing for ourselves a birth, a next life in the spiritual world, in the world of Krishna, where there is no more repeated birth, death, disease and old age. Dukkhalayam napnuvanti mahatmanaha. So there is no more again taking birth in this Dukkhalaya. This is completely in contrast to the modern day thinking. You look at somebody who is going to IIT Mumbai, his thinking is how I should get a placement where I'll earn a lot of money, or I should be able to make a startup and I have to become a millionaire. This is the thinking. The result of the modern day education is the products of such modern day education. The students who are coming out of all the modern day educational institutions, what are they thinking? Goal is I have to make money. The people, they are getting married, what are they thinking? The goal is earn money, enjoy money. The people are working hard in democracy to become political masters. What is their thinking? My party has to come to power so that I can earn money. And you look at what Krishna is saying. The goal is not this. Look at what Narada Muni is saying. Goal is not this. Goal is you should be thinking, I am getting educated, I am earning money, I am getting political power, I am undertaking so many austerities. What is the goal? The goal is for culturing knowledge that I am not the body but I am a spirit soul, and the culmination of that knowledge that I am not the body, I am a spirit soul is I have to glorify Krishna. And as Prabhupada is mentioning, Prabhupada is giving two wonderful examples. The example of Vyasadeva and Valmiki Rishi. Valmiki Rishi was a great poet, Vyasadeva also, and both of them are great scholars, highly learned and masters of Sanskrit language. And we also have one great Sanskrit poet by name Kalidasa. Both of them are there. Kalidasa is also there, Vedavyasa is also there, Valmiki is also there. And Kalidasa is writing some sensuous literature. He is making his own novels. And here we have Vedavyasa and Valmiki. They are also writing wonderful, excellent literature, great poetry, unmatchable. Look at today's verse. Idam hi pumsas tapasas shrutasya va svishtasya suktasya buddhi dattayoh avichyuto artha kavibir niropito yaduttam shloka gunanuvarnanam. What a beautiful verse. What composition. The way it is composed, so beautiful to pronounce also, and so musically you can pronounce it. And such beautiful, all the letters are arranged in such a way when you chant or when you hear it, it is so pleasing to the ears. This is Vyasadeva's, his poetic ability. Vyasadeva and Valmiki Rishi, they had poetic ability. They did not use it to glorify some mundane personality or to write some novel, some fiction. They did not use their knowledge for that. They glorified Krishna. They glorified Lord Ramachandra, the supreme personality of Godhead. And because of that, what happened? Valmiki Rishi and Vyasadeva have become immortal. Whereas in the world of fiction, so many novelists will come and so many will go. A few years people will be popular. After that, everybody will forget. Today, Harry Potter may be very famous. Another 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, who will remember Harry Potter? Nobody will remember. Whereas you look at Vyasadeva, he wrote the Srimad-Bhagavatam, Bhagavad-gita, the Mahabharata, 5,000 years ago. Even today, people read these literature. And it is not only simply reading for our sense satisfaction. We are able to learn things about ourselves, about the spirit soul, about the supreme personality of Godhead. We get transcendental knowledge which will eternally reside with us. Not that we read for some time, we feel some satisfaction, forget it. All fiction literature are like that. All novels are like that. You read, you get some satisfaction for some time, you close it, you forget it. Whereas the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, the Bhagavad-gita, Bhagavatam, they are not like that. You read repeatedly. Every time you read, you will find newer and newer taste. You will find a newer and newer revelation of transcendental knowledge. This is the beauty of the literature which Vedavyasa and Valmiki Rishi have written. They are also great poets, but they have used their knowledge in glorifying Krishna, glorifying Lord Ramachandra. And so therefore, they are Amara. They are eternally, they will be remembered. As long as the human society remembers, their names will remain. This is the wonderful contribution of Vedavyasa and Valmiki Rishi. Therefore, we have to understand that why Valmiki Rishi and Vedavyasa have become so famous, because they dedicated the results of all their activities for the glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, if we also dedicate our lives for glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, our life will also become glorious. And the Bhagavatam is full of such examples of all great, wonderful personalities. Whether it is Kardama Muni, whether it is Dhruva Maharaj was a king, Kardama Muni was a great yogi, Narada Muni himself was a son of a simple maidservant, uneducated, small street village boy. You can see from a small uneducated village boy to a king to a great rishi. All such examples are given in the Srimad-Bhagavatam. All of them have become glorious and celebrated all over the universe because they dedicated their lives for Krishna. Similarly, if we also dedicate our life, our activities, our education, our wealth, our whatever influence we have in society, whatever knowledge we have, whatever austerities we undertake, whatever hard work we are doing, if we dedicate all of these for the glorification of Krishna, what will be the result? We will get glorified in turn, and we are assuring for ourselves a next life where there is no more repeated birth and death within this world of miseries. This is what the Bhagavatam is offering us. This is what Narada Muni is offering us, and this is exactly the same thing what Krishna has also instructed in the Bhagavad-gita. We can see very clearly how the Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad-gita, they are in complete consonance. What is the goal of life? Goal of life is that we have to glorify Krishna. That's it. How we glorify Krishna? Not necessarily that I have to sit and speak. Only then it is Harikirtana. Prabhupada, you see, is such a wonderful revelation Prabhupada is giving. Prabhupada is saying, scientific knowledge engaged in the service of the Lord and all similar activities are all factually Harikirtana or glorification of the Lord. So, Harikirtana or glorification of Krishna is not some narrow thing. I have to sit and I have to talk, then only it is Harikirtana. No. Whatever knowledge you have, whatever field you may be expert in, you may be a poet, you may be Prabhupada is mentioning earlier also, all the sages and devotees of the Lord have recommended that the subject matter of art, science, philosophy, physics, chemistry, psychology, and all other branches of knowledge should be wholly and solely applied in the service of the Lord. Suppose I am a chemist. What is a chemist doing? Mixing various chemicals. Now, if I think the culmination of my knowledge of this chemistry is to figure out how through these chemicals, combination of chemicals, I can establish that the source of all these chemicals and reactions of these chemicals is Krishna. And if I work towards that, that is also Hari Kirtana. I am mixing chemicals in the lab. Prabhupada is saying that is also Hari Kirtana. A physicist is sitting in the laboratory and is looking into a telescope and is studying the universe. And if he is thinking, how do I establish from this knowledge of the cosmology that Krishna is the source of this universe, then that is also Hari Kirtana. I am sitting in the laboratory and I am looking at the universe through the telescope, that also becomes Hari Kirtana. So every activity can be directed towards Krishna, and if it is so done, then it becomes Hari Kirtana or glorification of Krishna. We do not have to change our occupation, we don't have to change our activity, we simply have to change the beneficiary. Sthane sthitaha, stay where you are, continue doing whatever you are, but you dedicate the results to Krishna. This is the whole secret by which we can spiritualize all our activities, and we put a full stop to the reactions to our activities. If we do not do this, then what happens? Every activity has an equal and opposite reaction. Either we will be generating pious reaction or we will be generating sinful reaction. There is no activity which is free from reaction except when an activity is engaged in glorifying Krishna. Therefore, if we want to put a full stop to this cycle of undergoing repeated happiness and misery within this material world as a result of our pious and sinful activities, then only way is we have to engage in devotional service to Krishna. We have to think, how can I glorify Krishna? How can I spread Prabhupada's mission? How can I distribute more and more Prabhupada's books? How to share this knowledge more and more with more people? And by this simple activity, our activities will become free of all reactions. This is a transcendental activity. And so therefore, Narada Muni is instructing Vyasadeva that he is instructing Vyasadeva that he should glorify Krishna by writing literature, because Vyasadeva until now has written all the different Vedic literature, and now Narada Muni is instructing Vyasadeva that he has to now reach the culmination of all writing such Vedic literature by writing the Srimad-Bhagavatam, which is direct glorification of Krishna. And this is not just Narada Muni's opinion. He is saying, Kavibhir Nirupitaha. This learned circles have positively concluded that the infallible purpose of all these things, advancement of knowledge through austerity, study of the Vedas, sacrifice, chanting of hymns and charity, everything, all these things culminates in the transcendental descriptions of the Lord, Uttama Shloka, who is defined in choice poetry in the Vedic literature. And so therefore, this is recommended by Narada Muni and also by all the learned personalities. Anybody, if he claims that he is a learned person, then he must have this perception, this conclusion that the ultimate goal, the culmination of all culture of knowledge is to come to the point of glorification of Krishna. So I'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.